Alright, let's see what this is about here.
Tucker Carlson and Greg Gutfield's Fox News. I went on Tucker Carlson and Greg Gutfield's Fox News show, leading the neoliberal establishment to attack me for being a right-wing conspiracy theorist. But is it necessary to have new conversations? And who is it that's interested in censorship now?
Russel Brand is such a legend, dude. I've been down with Russell since, oof, at least like 12 years, 15 years, dude.
Is it the left or is it the right? Hello there, you 6 million awakening wonders. Thanks for joining me on this voyage to truth and freedom, which will involve new alliances, new conversations, new ways for peripheral voices to attack centralized establishment authoritarian powers, which is exactly why I was appearing on Fox News and having conversations with other commentators and pundits from across the political spectrum. The controversy was stirred up by my appearance on shows like Tucker Carlson, Greg Gutfield. I spoke to Ben Shapiro, also numerous right-wing commentators. You'll remember, if you're my age, that right-wing just used to be one of the things that a person could be and wasn't automatically associated with things like fascism, racism, and all the ideas I think fundamentally we're agreed are bad ideas wherever we stand politically. So what is the agenda of the neoliberal establishment media? What do they want spoken about? What do they not want spoken about? Because let me tell you up front, what I learned from my conversations with figures from the conservative right, let's call them, is that there is a new willingness to form new alliances in order to be able to attack centralized establishment authoritarian power, i.e., explicitly, people that are conservative and right-wing are willing to have a truce with and alliances with people that are really progressive. They are, in fact,
That's what we need, man.
that the only way forward for us is to have more democratic power and autonomy in our communities, and that
this is what we need. More people doing this shit, dude. That's the only way we're gonna stop what's coming. And yeah, many people don't know what's coming, bro. They have no idea. But it is not good. Not good for us.
the price for having autonomy and authority in your own community, and I mean power that's achieved democratically, is to allow other people to have their own power and authority in their own communities. However, centralized power wants, of course, a centralized, authoritative, institutionalized power to dictate what is possible and benefits from ongoing cultural conflagration. The reason I go on these various shows is in order to have conversations like this, because I believe change is possible. And
It's
before I show
important.
you these clips, bear in mind that just a few short years ago, I did this at Fox News.
This is private property.
This bit here.
Yes.
Whose property is it?
Building.
Who's the building belong to?
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
It doesn't
I'll
matter.
just say it then.
You want to get arrested?
We were booked on to Sean Hannity's show.
Okay.
And then it was cancelled. Can I come up, have a look around, maybe have a look at the studio, touch some stuff, meet some of the people from the Hannity show?
No, wait outside.
Why?
Because that's what we want you to do.
So, here are some of the moments from the conversations I had, and I want you to ask yourself these questions and let me know in the chat and comments what you think. Do these conversations improve the chances of us forming new power structures and new systems? Who is it that seems to be benefiting from the ongoing culture war? And let me know in the chat and the comments, because I'm interested in what you think, and I believe you can handle nuanced thinking. Let's have a look, first of all, at my appearance on Tucker Carlson on Fox News. In this conversation,
Nobody
both
is
Tucker Carlson
benefiting,
and
man.
I came to it knowing that we would disagree, presumably, about a lot of issues. That I, broadly speaking, belong to what you might call the cultural left. That he is a conservative person, you might say. We were surprised, in fact, about how many things we agreed upon, I suppose because we both agree with individual and community freedom. There were moments where I gently and respectfully confronted Tucker Carlson around some of the issues where I explicitly disagree with him. For example, the way he's spoken about homelessness in the past, perhaps identity issues, issues of sexuality, and I was surprised, in fact, about how little Tucker Carlson really cared about regulating the private life of other people. But what I would say is that what inspired me about this conversation is both Tucker Carlson and I are absolutely disenchanted with establishment power, whether it's on the left or the right. That neither of those terms mean anything anymore. That authority and government power has been co-opted by financial interest to such a degree that no one is voting for anything meaningful anymore. Have a look. These are them facts that I was going to tell you about, if I may. I hope you will. I certainly shall do my best. I wanted to do it down the barrel. Did you see that? Did you see the presumptiveness of me there, Tucker? To turn straight ahead for my single. A single that frankly wasn't there.
So
because
stupid.
this is Tucker Carlson today. Let's get an ISO shot of Mr. Brand. Thank you. Look at he directs from the floor. Hello, America. In the world of energy, you know energy that we require to do stuff, to move things about, to warm our homes. At least 100 members of Congress own fossil fuel stocks, of which 59 are Republicans and 41 are Democrats. Oh, look, the Republicans are a bit worse. Pharma. Of the $263 million of the pharmaceutical industry spent on lobbying in 2021, it gave 61% to the Democrat Party and 39% to the Republicans. Oh no, the Democrat Party is a bit worse. Wall Street. In 2022, commercial banks spent over $30 million lobbying Congress, 61% to the Republicans and 39% to the Democrats. Oh no, look, the Republicans.
I mean, if we're talking about oil, oil is only an issue. I mean, there's a lot of issues, but it's only an issue because, or if you believe in the agenda pushing of climate change, which is, to me, is a load of horseshit. I believe our planet has its cycles, and it will go through its cycles, whether it's every 1,000 years or whatever, or even if it's biblical, that something's gonna happen here. But to say that it's due to climate change, due to carbon emissions and all this bullshit, dude. Antarctica is like melting away, but like we're not allowed to go there, you know, like come on now, dude. There's so many lies and holes and everything that comes out of these people, dude. You gotta take everything with a grain of salt. So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of corruption in big oil and some dirty deeds. But there's corruption, dirty deeds, fucking everything, dude. Anything that has to do with government. What they need to do is, or what would be good for them to do, is like they did with the corona shit. The checks that they handed out to all Americans or whatever, dude. Do that shit, but do it for individual solar. Every American's home, give them enough money to put up their solar panels, or at least pay half or some shit. I mean, like as if there isn't enough fucking money, dude. When we can send billions to fucking Ukraine or fund these wars that never end on one front or another. Give the people the means to set up their own sustainable energy. whether you believe in climate change or not, that is beneficial for everybody.
Republicans are a bit worse. If you've seen any of the criticism in the neoliberal media, you might think, well, what was it about? Because these are not right-wing talking points. This is anti-establishment, anti-authoritarian, anti-financial corruption rhetoric that everyone should be interested in. So it makes me think that the voices that are attacking me are, whether unconsciously or not, supporting establishment power. Let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat. Let's see what's coming next. Nearly 20% of Congress members, 49 Democrats and 44 Republicans, have been trading shares of companies in industries they are supposed to be overseeing as part of their...
Hang on, I gotta go back. I missed the
the
last thing you said.
What was it about? Because these... To the Democrats. Oh no. Commercial banks spent over $30 million lobbying Congress. 61% to the Republicans and 39% to the Democrats. Oh no, look, the Republicans are a bit worse. If you've seen any of the criticism in the neoliberal media, you might think, well, what was it about? Because these are not right-wing talking points. This is anti-establishment, anti-authoritarian, anti-financial corrupt.
I think that depends on like which banks we're talking about.
If you've seen any of the lobbying Congress, 61 commercial bank, and 39% to the Republicans. Oh no, 1% to the Democrat Party and 39%. Of the $263 million of the pharmaceutical industry spent on lobbying in 2021, it gave 61% to the Democrat Party and 39% to the Republicans. Oh no, the Democrat Party is a bit worse. Wall Street. In 2022, commercial banks spent over $30 million lobbying Congress. 61% to the Republicans and 39% to the Democrats. Oh no.
I mean, commercial banks, not all. I mean, banks are a fucking business, but not all banks hold power like the echelon of banking. The fucking Banks of America and oh fuck me, I forgot what the fuck. What are the other banks, man? I haven't been in the U.S. in so long, and I've kind of fell out of politics and all this shit, dude. What are the? I mean, clearly, you know, the fucking central bank, the central banking system. These are the motherfuckers. Who did they pay? Who did the Rockefellers fucking pay money to? The left or the right? I mean, they probably paid into both. I mean, there's so much fucking corruption, bro. All these dinosaurs need to be removed. These corrupt ass, bought, sold ass dinosaurs that don't give a damn about the people. The whole thing needs to be torn down and rebuilt. And that's going to take measures that nobody wants to admit to. I mean, there's a reason we have the Second Amendment. As unfortunate as that sounds, it's what it's going to come down to. It's what everything is going to come down to.
No, look, the Republicans are a bit worse. If you've seen any of the criticism in the neoliberal media, you might think, well, what was it about? Because these are not right-wing talking points. This is anti-establishment, anti-authoritarian, anti-financial corruption rhetoric that everyone should be interested in. So it makes me think that the voices that are attacking me are, whether unconsciously or not, supporting establishment power. Let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat. Let's see what's coming next.
Majority unconscious.
Congress members, 49 Democrats and 44 Republicans, have been trading shares of companies in industries they are supposed to be overseeing as part of their committee assignments. Each one of these facts indicates a potential solution to the problem that it describes. Don't let members of Congress own stocks.
The fact that he can go on Tucker and spew facts like that, dude. And he could have added like a lot more facts in there. I mean, I don't know the interview. I mean, it's just like 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in. But the fact that he could do that speaks volumes. Is he gonna do that on CNN without getting bashed for it? Tucker hasn't said shit. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
At all. Pharma do not accept lobbying money from the pharmaceutical industry. It's a health industry. The interest should be, as the Hippocratic Oath declares, to do no harm and, get this, maybe even help people. A lot of my time spent thinking, I wish I could pull that necklace back in front. There's a pendant there and it's gone off to the... Wait a minute. Oh no, it's swung to the right. And if you remove the gargantuan motivation for profit, and I'm not talking about ending
Oh my god.
profit and all of those kind of extremist arguments. I'm simply saying this is a behemoth.
Well, I love this dude, man. I mean, he's like, overall, dude. I mean, he's like me, in the middle of the spectrum, dude. I mean, there is no fucking left or right. You agree with, like, there's certain things, and there's a lot of people like this, man, who are just in the middle on things. They don't even associate themselves with a certain party. But if you have any view that conflicts with the left these days, not even the left, with the right as well, man, you're like called a liberal or snowflake or whatever. And then if you're on the right, you're called like a fascist, a Nazi, a racist, dude. Like what are we doing throwing words out like this? Like we don't know the fucking meaning of what these words are, man. And like everybody is so fucking soft, bro. It's a real mess we're in. And we're so divided, bro. We're so divided. They got us good right now, man.
This is corporate gigantism. This is an outgrowth. This is a tumour. This has gone too far. And it is possible to change it. And people that say it's not possible to change it are invested in it staying the same. You will notice that. In defence, military contractors have spent $2.5 billion on lobbying over the past...
It's not that simple to say that we can just change it. Most people don't have a clue. And the whole voting system is, whether you want to believe it or not, a sham, dude. So, clearly you can't, I can't back that up with factual information, but the interests that are involved behind the scenes in the whole voting scenario, dude, are some extremely powerful people, dude. And to say that they don't control the outcome, even if even if like the vote is legitimate, and after our guy gets in, or like your guy gets in, or whatever, to say that they don't control these people, dude. That's one thing with like Trump. Trump did a lot of good things, man. A lot of good things. He doesn't get credit for them. He gets credit for them from like Fox and shit, and like some people know what he's done. Some people just deny it. Are in denial, dude. They're so conditioned. I didn't vote for Trump. I don't vote. I keep my hands clean. I learned that from the war crimes on Iraq and the Middle East and Africa. I don't vote. I will never vote. I'm not going to get no blood on my hands. Anyways.
2 decades, they split their checks more or less evenly between the Democrat and Republican candidates, almost as if they've anticipated the possibility that either of those parties could get into power. Almost as if they've contractors have spent $2.5 billion on lobbying over the past 2 decades. They split their checks more or less evenly between the Democrat and Republican candidates, almost as if they've anticipated the possibility that either of those parties could get into power.
Yeah.
Oh no, we've spent all our money on the Republican parties. What if the Democrat Party get into power? Should we give them some money as well? Oh yeah, that means whoever gets in, our outcomes will be served. That's not right-wing rhetoric, except unless you feel that what right-wing means ultimately is a position that's anti-government and anti-establishment. And I know some of you do. I know that that's exactly what many of you feel. Let me know in the chat and the comments. But what I'm interested in are systems of organisation that are beneficial to the people that they purport to serve and are accessible to the people that they purport to serve. Do you not think it's possible when you see things like Uber and all of these new tech apps that ultimately aggregate various powers, whether it's a car or a house, centralise it and allow it to be distributed, meaning things are possible now that just didn't used to be possible? Don't you think that that could be applied elsewhere to political power, that you could have systems where you vote for how utilities are run, systems how you vote for how resources are spent?
This is something that I've said forever, dude. That it shouldn't be fucking Senate and all this shit. It should be the people who vote on issues, man. Should we be sending money to Ukraine or overseas to all these other countries? That's not up to them to decide, man. It's our money. It's our money that they're stealing. This should be up to us what we do with our money. Should we be going into this new war? I'm pretty sure most of us don't want another war, dude. We're on the verge of a new world war, dude. Of a new world war. If not like a civil war, because we're so caught up in fighting with each other instead of coming together, bro. If we could just come together on certain issues, or at least set our issues aside for the meantime, for the betterment, we could change the world, bro. Change America, clearly. I mean, that's obviously important, but we could change the world. America could do so much that these people who control it right now just are determined to destroy and kill off so many people, bro, and push a narrative and agenda.
Hundreds of miles away, or thousands of miles away in the case of the United States of America, that are lobbyable, biasable, corruptible, making decisions with your money when they're getting paid from elsewhere. That would be a terrible system. 180 Democrats and 149 Republicans joined forces to pass last year's record $839 billion National Defense Authorization Act. The Pentagon spent $14 trillion after 9/11. 55% of it went to for-profit defense contractors. Over half of the 14 trillion spent by the Pentagon went to for-profit defense contractors. That doesn't mean that everything they do at Northrop Grumman, who I think make amazing telescopes, or Lockheed Martin, who I'm sure do incredible stuff, is nefarious, but it does mean it's worthy of investigation, and these are facts that are significant in the way that your country is.
That is a lot of money, dude. And do we really... why is this even... No foreign country could invade America. So clear, we have so many guns and the ability to defend ourselves without a government. That is not a fear that we should have. So why are we putting so much money into the military-industrial complex unless the powers that be are planning on fighting more wars? Which is clear they are, because most people know, or I imagine you should know, that we still haven't finished Iran off. We destabilized Syria. I do not think we annexed it. And under Biden, we've lost Afghanistan to the Taliban. We lost Iraq to ISIS, which again was under another Democrat. Uh, Notice how none of that shit was happening when Trump was president, dude. We fell out of Afghanistan and the dust settled. Trump was changed out with an old senile man, perverted man who somehow fucking won, if you believe in the system. ISIS shows up, North Korea starts acting stupid again, Russia pushes into Ukraine, China starts pushing south. Like, really, dude? Is that what we're doing? Why are we doing that? I mean, to say that we don't understand from like China or Russia's point of view, dude, like you have to understand how many military bases do they have within range of the United States, and how many military bases does the United States and NATO have within range of them? They're surrounded. It doesn't make what they're doing right. Two wrongs don't make a right. But to denounce what they do and like we just got out of a 15-20 year wars, and nobody bats an eye, dude. Ukraine gets invaded, and Russia is Hitler, or Putin is Hitler, and Russia are Nazi. It's insanity, dude. Clearly, it's not a good situation, and China is definitely not a good situation in general, like human rights and animal rights and everything about China is disgusting.
Is organised in the way that your media reports on stories and the way that all of us live our lives, because of course those tax dollars are yours. That's your money that's being described in those enormous figures. Now, of course, at the moment, Tucker Carlson is particularly embroiled in controversy around January 6th and the revelation that his interpretation of those tapes demonstrates that there are questions to be asked around the way the situation was policed. And we're going to do a video on that tomorrow because, believe you me, the Capitol Police are getting some new funding that's pretty interesting. And it's a complicated issue and there are many, many perspectives on it. But you, I'm sure, like me, would agree that to be able to say that...
Oh, wait, what? That's not good. They're like trying to militarize the police around the Capitol. I mean, they know that something's gonna happen eventually because we're losing our patience. We let them do that, and that fight is just gonna be that much harder.
That kind of stuff on a mainstream channel is helpful and advances the conversation and is generally, I would say, conciliatory in tone. Elsewhere in the chat, I explicitly say that I believe people should be able to identify however they want, express themselves however they want, as long as they don't hurt anyone else, obvious kind of stuff like that. And I specifically spoke to Tucker around the issue of homelessness. The only thing that I've ever seen, sir, that I would call you up on is when I've seen you talking about homelessness, and I feel that when talking about the subject of destitution and people that live in poverty, that the basis for that conversation should be love, and also for all of the
Yeah.
displaced people in the world.
Everything
that
is
the
love,
foundational
dude.
principle should be love. I'm not claiming that I'm able to maintain that line when something offends me for some cultural or personal reason, but I know that this is what I aspire to.
I agree with that, and I feel that drug addicts living outside are used as political pawns to destabilize society. I feel like they're not treated on purpose. The mentally ill live outside and die outside and are left to do that because it's useful for the people in power to draw attention away from their own misdeeds. And I'm angry about it.
Yeah.
But I'm not angry at the fentanyl addict. I'm angry at the industry that's grown up around him that doesn't treat any of his needs, that leaves him to die alone, and that becomes rich doing so. And that the politicians who posture about his death when they could have prevented it. And unfortunately, I get so overheated, I get so pissed that in many cases I have allowed myself to sound like I'm mad at the junkie when I'm certainly not. As a sober person, I have deep empathy for anyone who's lost an addiction, particularly on the street.
I mean, not everybody
Tucker
homeless.
Carlson, who on a personal level was extremely kind and beautiful to me, and I think he's a good person, and
Not everybody homeless is a junkie, dude. Especially today. I mean, many could have fallen into it from being on drugs, or like many could have fell into it after fell into drugs after being homeless. But like, not everybody out there is a druggie or a drunk who's homeless, man. People are just having a hard time. And in the most, say the most beautiful or most successful or the country in the world that has the best opportunity, or it should. It used to say it used to. Do we even really know? You know, make America great again. Like, when was it actually? I mean, in the 80s, 90s. I mean, was it really even that great, dude? Or, you know, to say the 60s. I mean, the 60s. The family unit was a great thing, which has been destroyed. Marriage has been destroyed, and that is due. You know, that's another thing we'll get into at another time. Everything is so wrong, dude. It's ass backwards.
I don't believe that he is a negative influence in American cultural life. I believe that you have to accept that people have different perspectives on cultural issues, and if you don't, the alternative is some form of tyranny, and hopefully it's the form of tyranny that you happen to agree with. And I don't think that's the answer, because it's a big old world out there, and people do human different. So I think that, broadly speaking, that was a positive conversation, and generally speaking, we need more conversations like it. And by God, I've been having them, because I also went on Greg Gutfield's show, which I didn't know is the highest rated late night show in television, not Kimmel or any of those others. It's this one. So I went on there to talk about similar issues, which of course I suppose makes me a right-wing conspiracy theorist. And like all good right-wing conspiracy theorists, I went on Fox News and said this.
You worried about the IQ decline?
Yes, I am. And actually, I've got a series of good points to make, because education is fundamentally affected by poverty. Here, Greg Gutfield was talking about IQs dropping in America for the first time in, I don't know, 50 years.
Yeah.
Those things. And I used the opportunity to talk about education and the connection between education and poverty, and the necessity to invest in education. Have a look. Okay, so listen to this. According to Global Citizen, poverty is the main barrier to education in the United States. I want to draw your collective attention to the pandemic. I think we all understand that during the pandemic, education declined. Now, I can see that Greg's only got a 1 minute break.
Yeah.
1 minute to a commercial, so I've got to wrap this.
I also have other panelists, Russell.
Huh?
I have other panelists.
Oh, thanks for coming. Now, listen, during that pandemic period, billionaires added 5 trillion to their fortunes. That means that during the
What a
pandemic,
fucking legend, bro.
billionaire was created every single day, while extreme poverty increased everywhere, while small businesses closed everywhere. Now, I'm going to say something on Fox News that until recently would not have been possible. As President, Donald Trump's tax cuts helped billionaires pay less taxes than the working class in 2018. For the first time in American history, the 400 wealthiest people paid a lower tax rate than any other group. Right-wing fascists, come on. But check this out, Fox News viewers, because you're going to like this bit. In October 2021, Democrats scaled back plans for a crackdown on tax cheating, bowing to an aggressive lobbying campaign by the banking industry, while Joe Biden told rich donors on the campaign trail that nothing would fundamentally change if he were elected president. So like some of the great points in your monologue, you made the point that it's the two-party system itself, and in particular the manner in which it is funded, that prevents meaningful change for ordinary people. And this education problem, while the jokes you made were about the culture, Kardashians, etc., really, education, if the state has a duty at all, is the cultivation of young Americans, it is the protection of young Americans. This would be my point, Greg Gutfeld.
Very good, very good.
I belong to self-organising, anarchic, mutual support groups.
I mean, that kind of boils down to, like, parents. Which, like, also boils down to, like, the whole family unit, man. At the end of the day, it's up to parents to teach their children, dude. You shouldn't depend on the government to teach your kids, bro. Let them teach the kids the math or the, the English language and these, maybe some science or whatever bullshit, Most of it is bullshit. But you should be teaching your children the history. You should be teaching your children facts. You should be teaching your children what your government has done in the past 50, 60 years. Or what your government has done since World War II. And what they haven't done. What we could be, what we're not. Honestly, like, history and wisdom should be given from the parents.
To help people with various addiction issues. In those groups, we say, look for the similarities and not for the differences. Do you think that might be something that's applicable in culture more broadly? That we should look for the areas where we agree with one another rather than focusing on the disagreements? Where there are disagreements, perhaps what we have to have is autonomy. You want to live a traditional lifestyle, you go for it. You want to live a progressive lifestyle, you go for it. The state should be minimally involved in people's lives. Minimally might mean you need support with education, you might need military support. These are things that we can vote on. Wouldn't you prefer to be voting in systems where your politicians haven't already been co-opted? Let me know in the comments. Are you willing to allow other people to live how they want to if they allow you to live how you want to? Do you think centralized authority might benefit from continually stoking differences, creating conflict between ordinary people who have far more in common with one another than they'll ever have with the establishment and institutions that govern their lives? Do you think a better world is possible if we reach out our hand in friendship to people that we don't agree with? Or do you think we should be doubling down on differences, throwing stones, arguing and bickering? Can you imagine me having a conversation like that on MSNBC or CNN?
It's experience. It's just sort of taking it all in.
Oh, this shit.
As if I'm not here and as if I'm an extraterrestrial. Doesn't that seem like a reason to go on Fox News and discuss that stuff? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments what you think. So the establishment media can do as many hit pieces on me as they want to. I'm going to continue to reach out and have conversations with people from across the political spectrum, because one thing I've noticed that they believe and I don't believe is they think you're stupid. They think you can't handle nuance. They think you can't handle complicated conversations about the balance between power and...
Oh, and a lot of people can't. As stated before, the population is just getting dumber. And you see it in a lot of these debates or situations. A lot from like California and shit. Not just California. There you see it on like even on these like late shows and shit when they're in New York or whatever, and they're asking questions of people, dude. And people are just so dumb. People don't know geography. People don't know history. People just spew shit they hear and they know nothing.
Duty and authority and largesse and licentiousness and morality and ethics and all of the complexity there entailed. I believe you can handle it. I believe you can handle the truth. I believe that collectively we have a greater intelligence than any aristocracy. I believe in true democracy. I believe that if we have conversations like this, we will come to peaceful conclusions that meaningfully change the trajectory of the planet. That's what I believe, that human beings are fundamentally beautiful. There's a bit of good.
I mean, it's a good thing he's doing it, and he's got a platform to do it. He's got viewers from both sides of the spectrum. He's an intelligent person, dude, and he promotes love. And the fact that he's going out there and he's taking the steps to talk on both sides about issues, dude, is like it's admirable. It's an admirable thing. It's a step in the right direction.
Good in the worst of us and a bit of bad in the best of us, and together we can create something beautiful. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think, because that's obviously, based on what I've just said, even more important. Let me know in the chat and the comments what you think. Turn on the notification bell and subscribe right now, because we need you to march alongside us in our valiant attempt to create new media spaces, new movements, new conversation. Without you, we are nothing. More important than any of that is that you please stay free. All right. The beginning bit of the pandemic, it was like really nice. It was about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you liked my commentary on that, this is something that I kind of been wanting to do for quite some time now, but I don't know, I haven't really gotten into it. I kind of fell out of the whole political thing since I left America. But if you like to hear my opinions or whatever, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and tell me what you think. Give me some comments. If you agree with me or not. Like, there are definitely issues I'm in the middle of the spectrum on. I don't consider myself either or. Anyway, thanks for watching.